Welcome back, trainers. So we have some pretty crazy news regarding Pokemon Go and Shadow Pokemon, as well as a few other new features regarding road makers. Could we possibly be able to start making our own routes? We'll just have to see, as well as Team Rocket coming into Pokemon Go. This is very exciting. People thought we were going to see less updates because of Wizards Unite, but that is the complete opposite. So with that said, let's go ahead and hop into the video and see what we have going on here. So what exactly is a Shadow Pokemon? We're going to be going over all the information that has been found within the new Pokemon Go update, but first I want to just fill you in a little bit as to what in the world a Shadow Pokemon is. Shadow Pokemon are created through an undisclosed process that removes Pokemon's emotions, turning them into a soulless fighting machine. So there you have a bit of an idea. This was first introduced on the GameCube for Pokemon Coliseum. Personally, I did play that a long time ago. While normal Pokemon are generally friendly and trustworthy creatures, Shadow Pokemon are not hesitant to attack with full force, using Shadow moves such as Shadow Rush. So with the Team Rocket also introduced into the data, which we're going to be going over here, we're going to be possibly seeing missions regarding Team Rocket and probably hired scientists, maybe even forced to make these sort of Shadow Pokemon, and we're going to have to purify them. Now, the first signs of this were appearing around GoFest. If you did take a snapshot of a Pokemon, you would have Team Rocket photobomb, either a male or female. It would be back and forth between the two, but nonetheless, Niantic was giving us hints, so this is starting to make a connection. Now, let's go ahead and hop into the data here. All right, now we're over here on Calvin's Twitter, in which he did find some information within the new Pokemon Go APK regarding these Shadow Pokemon, as well as the Team Rocket grunts, and possibly you're going to be interacting with them through the Pokestops. So as you can see here, there's going to be many different types of grunts, which are going to be the Team Rocket members, male and female, as well as different type holders. So you have fire, grass, dragon, ice, dark bug, and so on here. So this is going to be very interesting. And if you've been watching me for some time now, we've been over how Niantic can make this game a little bit more interesting regarding, Team Rocket being an enemy that we're going to actually have to fight. Now, is it actually going to be through the Pokestops? You get a mission, and then once you complete it, say you have to catch a certain amount of Pokemon, or Shadow Pokemon or start appearing, and maybe you purify them, and once you've done that, then you will encounter one of these grunts, and then they progressively get harder and harder until you reach the final boss. That just sounds absolutely amazing if they do it right, but at this point, we can't really say exactly what it's going to be, just that it is in the new Pokemon Go APK. But with that said, this is all very interesting. I am happy and welcoming anything that Niantic is going to implement regarding this kind of style, and it can only get better from here. So as you can see, quite a few new assets within the new update regarding Team Rocket grunts, as well as different types of them. Alright, so if you're new to this whole scene and you have no idea what a Shadow Pokemon is, which I don't blame you, because a lot of Pokemon Go players are kind of fairly new to the whole scene and are just kind of learning as they progress through the different generations when Pokemon Go does release them. So this is what Shadow Pokemon in a sense kind of look like here, and you will be able to purify them through Stardust and candies. There is not going to be a specific item at this point announced, just that you're going to have to spend Stardust. Now, I don't think it's going to cost you a whole lot, because if it did, it'd be a little bit silly if you're spending, thousands and thousands of Stardust to purify these Pokemon and complete these missions to progressively get your badge higher, because there's going to be a badge for you to show you how many Shadow Pokemon that you have purified, basically. And if you had to spend, say, like 2,500 Stardust to purify a Pokemon, I mean, sure, okay, if the badge was, say, 10, and that was like the max for gold, that'd be okay, I suppose. But if it was like 50 and you had to spend that much for every purification, that's going to be a little bit excessive. I'm not trying to throw out complaints quite yet, but for some people, they just don't have the dust. I understand it's going to and supposed to be a grind to do these, in which if they did do that, then, I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. But I just wanted to bring that information here. This is what the Shadow Pokemon are going to be like. They're kind of like zombies. They have no emotions. They're strictly for attacking and brutish, if you will. So this is going to be very interesting. Like I said, I really hope we're able to use these in battle, but more than likely that's not going to be the case, and we may just be fighting the Team Rocket grunts with these shadow forms. And then after we fight these supposed grunts, we possibly may take the Pokemon from Team Rocket, because more than likely a Team Rocket using a Pokemon is going to be stolen. So we will be retrieving that Pokemon, purifying it, and then possibly keeping it ourselves. So in a sense, we're almost stealing it, but I'm just throwing out random guesses here, or whatever. Maybe just a wild Pokemon they caught, and we're just taking it away from them because they're not a responsible trainer. Give me that Pokemon. We're going to purify it, and then it's going to become ours. And then that Pokemon will have that attachment to us, and it's simple as that. Is it going to increase their stats once we do purify them? I have no idea. No new moves will be introduced as far as I'm concerned. Maybe as the Shadow mode, they will have a new move. Maybe just a couple moves that they're only going to be able to use at this point. And if you're wondering, okay, now which Pokemon can appear in their Shadow mode? And then which ones are you going to have to purify? Well, it's looking like the original 151. Not all of them, but just specifically the originals within that 150, a few of them. And then if you go down to the bottom, we do have Mudkip, Marshtomp, and Swampert, as well as Crobat, which we do know are not the original 151 here. So pretty simple. Looks like it's going to be just a few Pokemon. Other than that, we may see more introduced, but as far as I'm concerned, and the way I'm thinking they're going to introduce this is they're not going to get too overboard with it. They're going to keep it simple to this list here, and then probably in the future introduce us to more missions regarding the other sort of sinister teams from the different generations in which you've seen their clothes being added into the shop. So the first 151, the original Kanto region, is going to be Team Rocket, and then the other regions do have their specific villains to whatever region they're going to be in specifically. And we just may see these coming into the future. And now they're just now finally starting to give us these missions, in which I say that's fine. If it took this long, that's okay. At least we're getting something like this, and not just a new raid boss or Lugia returning for and again or something like that, or a new move added, like, you know, like we've been seeing. Although those additions are fine and I enjoy them all the same, but new shiny Pokemon, that's not new gameplay. That's a new shiny Pokemon to hunt for hours and hours on end to possibly not even find, which is okay because shiny Pokemon are supposed to be hard to get. Nonetheless, what we are seeing here is something new, and I'm very excited to see this because, you know me, I am a Team Rocket fan, and having them introduced into the game and battling them is going to be very interesting. Now, I really do hope they're going to be difficult, or at least progressively getting harder as we continue on into these missions deeper and deeper. Because when we do fight our team leaders currently, they really are not difficult at all. They do not use their shields. They stop attacking after they use the charge move, and it's very simple, right? Very basic. So I'm hoping that the Team Rocket grunts are going to show some sort of difficulty levels and progressively get harder for us to beat and show some sort of challenge. Because if that is the case, that is going to be very fun and exciting and actually challenging for us trainers to complete. So there you have the Pokemon that are going to be appearing in their shadow forms. Okay, now we're over here on the Go Hub, and here's a nice visual as to which shadow Pokemon you will be able to expect to see. All right, original 151 Pokemon, including Crobat, Mudkip, and Swampert there. So very nice. And they have a lot of information here regarding the purification, discussing how it's going to cost Stardust and candies. Are we going to see Lugia? Not too sure. Very possible, but it is too early to tell. There's nothing really within the data showing that quite yet. And then if we continue on here, we have the different team leader grunts like we went over already. And then we also have new moves, Frustration. All right, Return and Synchronize. Now, these moves are very interesting because in the main series games, they do something very specific. And for Pokemon Go, I'm not too sure exactly what they're going to do with it. Yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see, guys, because it's a little bit much right now. This is a lot of information to take in, and I don't want to get too in depth about it. But I do want to go into this, closing out the video here. The Route Maker is a baffling new item that we simply can't explain. There are 2 traces of the code that reference it, and it is not mentioned anywhere else in the update. Item type Route Maker, item type category Route Maker. So, trainers, are we going to be able to start making routes, purifying routes, fixing routes? Are we going to see shadow Pokemon on specific routes, and we're going to have to do something with that? we'll have to see, but this is all in the new data, and I just wanted to bring you this information. It is very exciting, and I really can't wait to see what the future holds for this new update. And personally, I do have it. The only thing that has changed currently is going to be that loading screen, and if you have not seen that, I will put an image over here so you can have a nice image of that. And there's also new warning signs as you go into the game. There's several new ones. There's a trainer walking with flowers in front of them with a curve, a Houndoom, and a few others, and it just shows a caution sign. Nothing too spectacular, but it is something new and nice to look at as you enter into the game, as well as a much smoother transition from the loading screen when you turn on into Pokemon Go. It doesn't just fade, or it does fade away, but it doesn't just vanish. It kind of smoothly fades in and then fades back into the game, which is a nice little touch, and I found that it's loading a little bit faster as well. Alright trainers, and that's going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up, and I will continue to keep you posted on everything you need to know regarding Pokemon Go updates and data that is found before it is actually released within the game. So what can we expect for these Shadow Pokemon? Well, only time will tell, but I will tell you this, I am very excited to see Team Rocket being introduced, and we're actually going to possibly be battling them, so that should be very fun. Take care trainers, and I'll catch you all next time.